Marshal Wyatt Earp moved on to Dodge City after taming Wichita, he found that Dodge was a right mean little town. The phrase right mean little town is frontier understatement. Dodge City in 1876 was tougher than Ellsworth, Wichita, Hayes, or Abilene at their worst. 2 months was a long time for a marshal to last in Dodge. In less than 2 years, 85 bodies had been planted in the town cemetery, known as Boot Hill. It was called Boot Hill because its residents died with their boots on. The gamblers, the painted ladies, and the gunfighters of Dodge were betting that Mr. Wyatt Earp would be the next occupant of Boot Hill.
There's many a gallant man struck down by an outlaw's hand, buried there on Boot Hill. And under the same blue sky, both evil and good men lie, side by side on Boot Hill. Once they shared the earth with free men, but they learned to hate and kill. Now they share the earth with dead men on Boot Hill. So traveler, walk with care, or you and those boots you wear may tomorrow be in their company, lying cold and still on Boot Hill.
Al Treadway, killed by Marshal William Rivers. No more rivers to cross.
Oh, howdy.
Howdy.
You related to the deceased?
Oh, no, I'm just coming into town. Thought I'd stop by. This is your Boot Hill, huh?
That's right, mister. I'm Pete Bradshaw. I'm the sexton. I guess that's what you call it, but mostly I just dig graves.
You got a funeral today, huh?
Well, it ain't certain. The boys told me to get a grave ready. They aim to kill this new marshal that's coming here, Wyatt Earp.
Oh?
Yeah. You see, they chased Jack Allen, that's the old marshal, out of town. So George Hoover, that's the mayor. So George up and he hires this Wyatt Earp by telegraph. Seems like this here fella Earp made a big reputation in Wichita.
Yeah.
I reckon this is big enough for Earp.
Well, it might be a little bit longer.
Oh, you know Earp?
Hmm.
How tall is he?
Oh, he's about, I'd say just about my height.
Well, you'd run to about 6'1"?
Just about.
6 inches I'll have to add onto this grave. Sure glad you come along, Mr.
Earp.
Yeah, Earp. Huh? You joking with me?
Well, I never joke in cemeteries, Mr. Bradshaw.
But you're just a young fella. You ain't hardly more than a boy.
Guess I kind of aged fast.
I kind of put my foot in it, didn't I?
Don't worry about it.
It's seeing you're such a good sport. I'm going to give you a tip.
Huh?
Don't walk down Front Street. That's the main drag. They'll be laying for you along Front Street.
They will, huh?
Yeah. Hoover and the deputies are holed up in the jail. That's on the plaza. So you go down one of the side streets and kind of sneak in the back door of the jail. That's my advice.
Thank you, but aren't you kind of talking yourself out of a good job?
Well, if it ain't you, it'll be somebody else. And this hole ain't gonna run away. Well, good luck, Mr. Earp.
Thank you, Mr. Bradshaw. I'd say you might make that about 6 inches wider, too. I like a lot of elbow room.
Wyatt Earp. I'd like to talk to Mayor Hoover. talking to him. And you got here just in time. That's the Big T outfit. They've got two of my best men, Tillman and Bassett, holed up in the depot. Come on in, Mr. Earp.
Well, thank you, sir, no.
What?
Well, all I want right now is my appointment as Marshal and the star that goes with it.
Well, the telegram I sent you was your appointment, and here's your star. What's all the rush?
Well, I got to take a little walk down Front Street. I understand the boys are expecting me, and I kind of hate to disappoint them.
What about Tillman and Bassett?
Well, that can wait for a half hour or so. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. See you soon. I hope.
Wired up! We're ready. Wired up's in town. Wired up is in.
Hey, you wired up?
That's right. Take care of your friend. Stop moaning. You're not hurt that bad. Here, plug it up with that and go see the doc. Hold it! Go pick up your friends.
Bushwhackers.
Anybody else that doesn't like the new Marshal?
We done that.
I did.
Wired Earp, all right. Rousting Front Street's a waste of time. Why don't you go over to the depot? There's a little war on.
It'll keep.
I've never seen anything like that before. Took a lot of nerve walking Front Street alone.
It was a little foolhardy, Mr. Mayor, but I had to do it. If I'd let those boys think I was scared of them, I might as well climbed on the first train out of here. They were all my deputies.
They ran. Wichita isn't like this.
Used to be.
Not quite, Mr. Earp. Do you really know what our position is at the present time?
Yeah, it's a little awkward.
We've got just two good men on our side. Charlie Bassett and Bill Tillman. And they're the sheriff and the chief deputy, not city peace officers.
Yeah, I've heard of Bassett and Tillman. They're two of the best.
The Big T outfit's been hoorahing Dodge since last night. They cornered Bill and Charlie in the depot. I don't know how much longer they can hold out.
I better get down there.
No, they've got the place surrounded by at least 30 men.
I'm just going to take a look around. There's a job you can do, Mr. Mayor. Think you can find a couple of good men in Dodge to help us?
I don't know. I doubt it.
Well, come on. Things can't be that bad. What about Dog Kelly and Chalk Beeson?
They run saloons, Mr. Earp.
Dog Kelly used to be a top sergeant in the Army. You tell him I want 6 or 8 special deputies.
I hate to be beholden to Kelly.
Now, look, Mr. Hoover, I didn't take this job to pass moral judgment on men like Kelly. When you got cowhands on a stampede, you don't appeal to the Ladies' Aid Society for help. You get tough men that know how to handle a gun.
All right, Marshal. I'll do what I can.
Thanks. I'll be back in 15 minutes. You have me some deputies.
Bassett! Tillman! Hold your fire!
Who was that fella?
Wyatt Earp.
What does he say?
He says to hold on and not try to make a run for it. He says he'll be back in 20 minutes with enough help.
Enough help? What's he got, an army?
He's a good man, Charlie. I'm for taking his word.
Hey, Tillman! Bassett! Come out with your hands up. Come out or we'll fire the depot.
How many cartridges you got left?
A couple of dozen.
They won't last 20 minutes.
All right, get the torches.
Listen, Kelly, Earp says it'll take only 6 or 8 good men. He's sure he can handle it with that many.
Earp must have let his head swell in Wichita.
He calmed down Front Street, didn't he?
Front Street ain't the big T outfit. Well, Earp's got nerve, but he lacks judgment. The idea...
Mr. Kelly won't throw in with us, Marshal.
Oh? I thought you had an honorable discharge from the Army, Master Sergeant Kelly.
Now, don't you try to shame me into being a hero. I'm too old for that.
I see that now.
Oh, you do?
But I haven't got any time to argue with you. Are you going to get me those men?
No.
Well, you got a right handsome place here, Mr. Kelly.
Well, cost me a few thousand just to furnish the bar. I got some more stuff coming from the east.
Oh, that's too bad. Well, when that big T outfit gets done killing Bassett and Tillman, they'll start shooting up Front Street. Your place ought to be about first in line. Yeah, sure like those lamps. And then I think they'd go for the mirror.
No, wait a minute.
All right. You're going to get me those men and 50 sticks of dynamite.
How soon you want them?
5 minutes. Over at the jail. All right, and there's no sense trying to knock those big T's out of their ambush. We haven't got enough men, and it'd take too long.
All right, how'd you do it in Wichita?
Well, I'll tell you, Mr. Kelly, in Wichita, we never let things get this bad. Everybody there was right proud of their town.
Yeah? I got the best saloon in Kansas.
Now, you going to brag about your saloon, or are you going to listen to my plan?
Go ahead.
I noticed the cattle pens behind the depot had a lot of steers in them. Who owned them?
Big T.
That's good. We'll dynamite the pens.
Dynamite the pens?
That's right. It's the only way to run out the big T's. They'll be so busy chasing steers, they'll stop shooting at Tillman and Bassett.
All right, but let me warn them what we aim to do first. Those boys are my customers.
Mr. Kelly, I don't care anything about your saloon trade. They're shooting at peace officers. Now, are you with me, or do I go in there alone?
Earp, you're the most violent peace officer I ever met in my life. But we're with you.
Good. All right, all of you grab a couple of bundles.
Bassett! Tillman! Come on all over your hands up!
How many we got left?
Just 4 apiece, Charlie.
Earp's not coming. Let's go out and make these 8 shots count.
Come out or we'll fire the depot! All right. Get the torch.
All right, you 3, take the north side. You 2 come with me. You know what to do, let's go!
Cover us. Bassett, Tillman, it's Earp.
Don't worry about the big T's. They're out chasing steers.
I'm Sheriff Bassett. This is my deputy, Bill Tillman.
Howdy.
We're sure glad to see you.
You saved our hides, but you didn't make things too good for the town.
How's that?
What Bill means is the big T ain't gonna like chasing their stock all over the country. That was a right smart stunt, and we'll take what's coming, right, Bill?
Got no choice.
Being as I'm a stranger here, what is coming?
They'll tree old Dodge and burn it to the ground. Not much loss of that.
Oh, don't discourage the marshal. Maybe they'll be satisfied with just killing the three of us. Come on, Mr. Earp. That jail of ours be the best place to make a stand.
Mr. Mayor, I think this is all wrong.
All wrong?
When you hired me as the Marshal of Dodge, I took for granted it was a town.
It is.
I'm sorry. Looks like a small fort in Apache country. Here we sit holed up while the big T's are making up their mind whether we're going to live or die.
I told you they wouldn't like it. Us dynamite in the cattle pens.
Why should we care what they like? They're just a bunch of lawless hoodlums.
Easy now, Wyatt.
Look, we're either the law or we're nothing.
But there's only so much we can do. Sure, I'm the sheriff of Ford County, and you're the marshal of Dodge.
And that'll be carved on the head markers.
You keep out of this, Bill. This fella's from Wichita, where it's been civilized for quite a spell. How old do you think Dodge City is?
11 or 12 years, how do I know?
4. In 1872, it was nothing but a tent camp and a few sod huts.
You can't make a city in 4 years, Wyatt.
And you can't go against an outfit like the Big T with a handful of guns. They outsmarted Bill and me. We went to the pens to check on rustled steers, and before we knew it, they had 30 Winchesters and Colts on us.
I warned them.
A cattle outfit like that is just a mob. Who heads up the big T?
Gus Andrews, wouldn't you say, Bill?
He's their foreman and top gun.
How good is he?
Fast.
Planted 6 in Boot Hill.
He's got a lot of extra help now, Wyatt.
Hey, Kelly and Hoover, I want to talk to you. Come on out here. Gus Andrews is plenty sore at you.
Is that so?
Yeah, he says you got to pay $20 a head for 9 steers. Also, he wants those pens rebuilt by noon tomorrow.
Hold it.
Yes, Sonny.
Gus Andrews isn't giving any orders to Mayor Hoover. You go tell Mr. Andrews that I want him for inciting a riot and for shooting at peace officers.
Oh, no.
Shut up! You tell Mr. Andrews to ride into Dodge alone and give himself up. If he's not here by sundown, I'm coming after him, you understand?
Don't make me laugh.
You still laughing?
No, sir.
When you get on your horse and tell Andrews what I said.
They got a grave waiting for you, Earp.
Yeah, we'll send flowers. I reckon Mr. Andrews isn't coming into town. So where can I find him?
Huh?
Where can I find Mr. Andrews?
I know, but I don't aim to tell you.
Charlie's trying to save your life.
Well, I'll ask around. Somebody ought to know where I can find the Big T outfit.
Don't you know it's suicide riding into the Big T outfit?
Maybe.
Bill, you talk to him.
No business of mine. Come on, it's your move.
You made a reputation for yourself in Wichita and Ellsworth. What good's that going to do you if you wind up on Boot Hill?
Well, I'll tell you, Mr. Bassett, I learned something in those towns. A mob isn't 20 men, 50 men, or 100 men. It's one man, its leader. In this case, it's Gus Andrews. That's why I'm going after him. Now, you can do me a big favor. Does Andrews have a high forehead or a low forehead?
High.
What brand of Stetson does he wear?
Pride of Texas, like all of Big T.
2-inch sweatband, huh? Thank you, sir. A pleasure meeting you, Mr. Tillman.
I'll be at your funeral. That big-headed Yankee show-off.
You going along?
Yeah.
If that Earp gets me killed, I hope somebody explains to my wife.
Where do they think they're going?
After Gus Andrews.
We ought to stop them.
No. Earp, Bassett, and Tillman. Well, there's a sight you maybe won't see again in your lifetime. Three greatest peace officers ever lived.
San Antonio, we didn't have the trouble. These guys didn't want to.
What year was that?
1950.
Well, I don't know.
Which one of you is Gus Andrews?
I am.
I sent word for you to come into town. Did you get the message?
Sure, I got your message. But I figured you'd drop by for my answer.
The rest of you, drop your gun belts. Don't want to have to dig any further into Boot Hill. I said drop it! Man with Gus. The other two are dead.
What about Gus?
He'll live. Just got a hurt head. Come on, give us a hand. Morning, Mr. Bradshaw.
Earp, I thought this was for you.
Well, I'm sorry to disappoint you, but we had a little change in plans.
I just got word to dig another. Who are these two for?
Well, I don't know. Sheriff Bassett and Deputy Tillman are getting the names, and they're making the arrangements.
Was you in the fight?
Mm-hmm.
Well, how come you missed?
Well, just lucky, I guess. You know, one of these days we're going to have to close this Boot Hill section.
Close it? Why?
It's given Dodge City a pretty bad reputation. And anyway, as a new marshal, I don't think I could give you too much business.
You must be pretty poor hand with a gun.
I guess you're right. I always do manage to miss somehow.
Cowhands on a hoorah weren't the only troublemakers in Dodge City when Wyatt Earp was marshal. There were tough buffalo hunters who went on sprees in Dodge. And there were the railroad construction gangs of the Santa Fe who tried to make good their boast that Dodge was hell on wheels. In 1876, these two groups of hoodlums fought each other for possession of the dance hall run by Dora Hand, the queen of Dodge City's nightlife. Dora Hand, a beautiful and mysterious young woman who was a legend in her own lifetime. Men shot or maimed one another in fights over Dora and the girls of her dance hall.
Come on, that's it. Right there. Go in there. Come on. Why'd you do that? Stop it!
The fight's over. Take it easy. Now, what's all this about?
It was just an argument, Marshal. There's no need to arrest them. They'll behave.
Take them both to jail, Hal. Come on. Now, look, Miss Dora, this is the third fight you've had in her since noon.
Sam, drinks on the house. Marshal. I would have broken it up. The men listened to me.
Well, Miss Dora, that buffalo hunter would have cut him to ribbons.
Well, the railroad man started it.
Look, you've got a rough mixture here. Buffalo hunters and railroad men. You're going to have to make up your mind to bar one crowd or the other.
That's not easy, Marshal. What about the cowhands and the soldiers? No, what I need are bigger and braver barkeeps. They'll stop all the rough stuff.
Miss Dora, that isn't going to work either.
Why, there've always been fights on this side of the line. When men drink and argue about women, there are bound to be fights.
Not with knives and guns, they're not going to fight.
What's this leading to, Marshal? You plan to close me.
I sure don't want to, Miss Doyle, but...
Keep out of this.
I only want to make a suggestion to Marshal Earp. I'll just say in your report that the hoorah was at my place. That way she won't get mentioned in the papers.
No, keep out of it. Mr. Kelly is in one of his gallant moods this evening. I handle my own beefs, Kelly.
You hit one of them on the head with a whiskey bottle. Is that ladylike?
I told you could never make a lady out of me. What'd you do to Jim? Are you a hypnotist or something?
No, ma'am.
Earp ain't any friend of mine.
Don't try to string me. Earp's got you acting respectable. Councilman Kelly, they call him, the law and order man. Well, this is between us. You can say I'm a public nuisance and close me, I guess.
Oh, no.
Oh, shut up. Well, what's the verdict, Marshal?
Well, Miss Dora, I could sign an extra deputy here for a few days.
Yeah, good idea.
Oh, it's not a good idea at all. The Buffalo men will say you're siding in with the Santa Fe crowd, and the Santa Fe crowd will tell Major Paxton that you're favoring the Buffalo men.
Well, what do you suggest?
Well, I suggest... Why don't you let me talk to all the men? If they know that you're threatening to close me, they'll stop all the rough stuff.
All right, ma'am, you're entitled to that chance. Good evening.
Thank you, Marshal.
Now, Dora...
Oh, shut up, Kelly.
Earp, wait for me. I want to talk to you.
I thought you wanted to talk to me.
Well, I do. But not as a friend, mind you.
All right.
Don't get any wrong ideas about Miss Dora and me. She considers herself too good to marry a saloon keeper. By George, she's right.
Yes, sir.
You don't know Miss Dora. All you see is a dance hall owner and jump to conclusions.
Well, I've jumped a lot of times, Mr. Kelly, but never to a conclusion.
You might as well know the truth fair and square. I'm on Miss Dora's side.
You in love with her?
That's none of your business. Well, we hired you to keep law and order in this town, not to go sticking your nose into personal matters.
All right, Mr. Kelly. I'll have to tell you the truth, fair and square.
What truth?
Well, I can't keep Sunday school order in this part of town. I'd be a fool to even try, but I do draw the line at knifing and shooting. Well, if Miss Dora can't control her customers, she's just going to have to close.
Close her? Over my dead body.
She'll still have to close.
Earp, I had you right in the first place. You're nothing but a stupid, sanctimonious John Law. Now, let me tell you...
Hold it, Kelly. Don't get tough with the Marshal. Let Major Paxton handle him.
Who's Major Paxton?
He's boss of construction for the Santa Fe, that's who.
Fine man, Paxton. I'll stand you all around the drinks on it.
You drink to the railroad, Mr. Earp?
I'm sorry, I don't drink. You can also tell Major Paxton I don't handle easy either.
Double round of drinks. Free.
All right. All right, we'll have a nice peaceable shindig.
Yeah.
Here's to Miss Dora, the Daisy Belle of Kansas.
To Miss Dora.
And we don't want any more dirty buffalo hunters causing trouble. We're going over to her place and we're going to throw them out. It'll be for railroad men only.
Whoa, now, friend, whoa.
Do you see that, Kelly? It's a lantern. We're going to hang it on the door. And that will mean that Dora's place is for railroad men only. Drinking to that, Kelly?
Well, sure. We'll all drink to that. Then on the house.
On the house. On the house.
Yes, sir, this is Santa Fe night in Jim Kelly's. Any more railroad men in the house? Well, two more. Step right up here. Up here, I'm buying you a drink. Belly up. Belly up.
Better get over to the El Hammer right away. There's been a crime committed.
Kelly's? What is it, a barroom brawl?
Worse than that. All right, put this one in the back room, too. Easy. Nice and gentle now. I don't want a bruise or a mark on him.
What happened, Mr. Kelly?
Bad liquor. They got it at Chalk Beeson's place across the street. What he uses in his whiskey, I'll never know.
Put him down, Mr. Kelly.
Well, it's just some bad liquor.
Never mind. Holy smoke. Chloral hydrate. Anybody else besides these 3 men get Mickey Fins?
Marshal, I swear it wasn't.
I thought you were smarter than this.
I had to do it.
Why?
They were going over to Miss Dora's to pick a fight with the buffalo hunters.
Did you know that knockout drops can kill a man? It's poisonous.
They're railroad men. You couldn't kill a railroad man with a Mickey Finn.
Chloral hydrate is a deadly poison. I had to charge you with attempted murder.
Charge me.
Here I thought the old Jim Kelly was dead. That you'd put an end to all this hoodlum stuff.
Come on, lock me up.
Don't you even stop to think? Grogan and Humpy put on a dance hall fight. Now you spread that route to all the buffalo hunters and all the railroad men.
Well, I done it for her.
Dance hall girl and a pretty face.
Now you stop right there. She's a ministering angel, that's what she is.
She's what?
You go over to Reverend Hawkett's church in the morning and... No, never mind. Come on, lock me up.
Never mind. We'll do that later. I'm going to send Doc McCarty over here to take care of these men. You pay the doc, and you just better hope they all wake up by tomorrow morning.
And I'm no prude, Marshal. I expect my men to get drunk and chase dance hall girls. But I can't let it interfere with their work for the railroad. We're pushing iron. 2 to 4 miles of track a day.
Yes, sir.
There's a pretty kettle of fish. Grogan, my top boss in the spike crew, laid up with a fractured skull. 7 terriers, groggy from drugged liquor. Do you think the railroad's going to stand for this?
Well, your men kind of asked for trouble, Major Paxton.
Are you defending this Dora hand? Am I to infer...
No, sir. I'm not taking sides with Miss Dora or Mr. Kelly. I think we may be doing them both an injustice.
Injustice? Great Scott, this hand woman has given me more trouble than all the other dance hall operators combined. I didn't come here to argue. I demand that you close this woman's place. Run her out of Dodge.
Well, if I decide that's the way to handle it, I'll do it.
How long do you think it'll take you to make up your mind?
Not long, Major.
I'll give you until tomorrow. After that, the railroad will take it to the town council.
Well, tomorrow will be time enough.
Good.
There's just one little thing that bothers me.
Yeah?
The blanket camps outside of town are full of buffalo men. You got a big crew driving track. I think I can calm down the buffalo men. I used to be a hide hunter myself, but what about your crew?
They'll be busy in the railroad.
We'll see that they stay that way, otherwise we may have a little fight on our hands.
You going out to those buffalo camps now?
Later. Gotta go to church first.
He kindly lie amid the encircling gloom. Lead thou me on. The night is dark, and I am far from home. Lead thou me on. Keep thou my feet. I do not ask to see the distant scene. One step enough for me.
Very good, Miss Hand. Now then, we'll try the recessional hymn.
I'm afraid you'll have to excuse me. I promised Reverend Hawkett to take up a collection for him.
Oh, yes, I've forgotten. Another choir practice Saturday?
Yes, I'll be here. Good day to you all. Good day.
Good day. We'll go right to the recessional hymn. Page 119.
Well, say it.
Say what?
that I'm on the wrong side of town, that I shouldn't dast enter a church.
Well, I couldn't very well say that, Miss Doyle. After all, they let me in church, too. Mr. Kelly got mad and told me I should talk to the Reverend Halkett about you.
Kelly.
He also called you a ministering angel.
Blarney. Sure, I kicked in some money to help build the church, but so did every place else in town. The Reverend Halkett asked me to join the choir because I sing a little bit better than the rest.
Well, you have a very nice voice.
This has nothing to do with whether you're going to close my dance hall or not. Are you?
Did you talk to the men?
Yes, I talked to them. They all promised they'd stop all the rough stuff. But to be honest with you, Mr. Earp, I don't believe it.
Well, that's bad news.
Lots of people will get hurt.
Including you.
You don't have to worry about me. I'll take care of myself.
I like you, Miss Doyle.
And you like Jim Kelly. It's foolish of you, Mr. Earp. Liking us is going to get you into lots of trouble. So much trouble, you have to leave Dodge.
Well, I don't need anybody's help to get me into trouble.
Here it comes.
Excuse me. Wyatt, a whole section gang's gone down to that blanket camp. They say they're going to run those buffalo hunters right out of Kansas.
Guess I better saddle up. Excuse me, ma'am.
Watch yourself, Marshal. They're a pretty tough lot.
Railroad man! Jimmy! Okay, get up. Tear it down! All right, stack it up over here. Bring the camp down. Camp. Hold it. You might late, ain't you, Herb?
Yeah, I guess I am. Another one of your gang just burned out a buffalo camp a mile down the road. But we're in plenty of time to make you pay for the damages, and I want your hands to come up, and I want them to come up empty. Put them up, way up. All right, Mr. Fromm, you claim there was about $750 worth of damage, huh? They burn any rifles?
Yeah. 2 Sharps and a Winchester.
That's about $150 more. I'll take care of this.
You better take care of it. My whole ballast crew pulled off of the job. We're a mile and a half behind schedule.
Don't lecture me.
What was that?
I don't want any railroad big talk. Your men were caught dead to rights. They raided and burned a hide hunter's camp, and the damage is $900.
The railroad won't pay a cent.
And they stay in jail.
You had no right to arrest them. You're a town marshal.
I'm also a United States deputy marshal. If I were you, I'd get that money and get it fast. And I'll try and talk the buffalo hunters out of making their own raid.
Are you threatening the railroad?
I don't waste my time, Major. If you don't have that money in 2 hours, I won't even try and stop. Now, who do you think you're fooling with? Those buffalo hunters are tougher man for man than any cowhands you ever heard of.
What do you think they'll do?
Probably chase your crews off the rack. They're up about 5 miles of track. That'd be my guess.
It's all your fault.
Oh?
I asked you to run that woman out of town. That fancy Belle Dora hand.
She had nothing to do with it. Well, you're wasting your time, Major.
All right. I'll get the money. But it's blackmail.
You want to repeat that?
No, I guess not. Sorry.
Marshal, a barkeep brought a message from Miss Dora. Wants to see you right away. Says it's very important.
Yeah, all right.
And don't try to soft-soap me. You got me into this mess, you and your Mickey Finn. And don't say that you did it to keep the fighting out of my place. You did it for Earp.
Earp? I don't even like him.
Oh, yes, you do. And he likes you. He told me so.
Yeah? Since when did you and Earp get so friendly?
Don't change the subject. The subject is that those hide hunters, you know what they're aiming to do to the railroad man.
Yeah, I ain't admitting that.
You better admit
Now,
it.
Dora. Now,
Erp's
Dora.
coming here. I sent for him, and you better tell him the truth because I'm tired of your hoodlum shenanigans.
I'm a hoodlum. Just look who's talking.
Howdy, folks.
Howdy, Mr. Earp. Miss Dora was showing me the statue. Just feel the weight of it.
It's, quite handsome.
All right, Kelly. Tell Mr. Earp.
Tell him what?
The buffalo hunters are aiming to get even with the railroad crew for wrecking their camp. Jim knows all about it.
I'm keeping you out of this. There's no call for you to get in the middle between them buffalo hunters and the railroad.
You see, he wants to be your friend, but he's such a hoodlum he doesn't know how.
All right, I'm a hoodlum, and you're a lady.
It's an odd term.
What's an odd turn?
Well, what I mean, Mr. Kelly, is that you can't keep a peace officer out of trouble. That's what he gets paid for.
If he knows the right cards, he's got a better chance.
I'd have no chance at all.
Major Paxson offered to pay the damages. Won't that calm the boys down?
No, it's too late for damages.
All right. Who's leading them and where can I find them? At your place?
Tell him, Jim, or I'll never even think about marrying you.
Dora!
Well, Mr. Earp, we were going to give up this sort of life, together, both of us. But every time the chips are down, it's that old hoodlum Kelly. Well, I'm quitting the church. I'm never going to go inside there again.
No, Dora, no, I'll tell.
Touch me.
The buffalo hunters left for the end of the track about an hour ago.
With guns? They aim to bushwhack the Santa Fe, huh?
No, plain stand-up fight. Now, don't go out there. It'd be like riding between the Federals and the Johnny Rebs.
He's right, Mr. Earp. We thought it was just going to be a sneak raid.
If Major Paxson offered to pay the damages, those fellas start shooting, they'll wind up in jail. I'll see you all later.
Well, you told him, Kelly.
I hope you're satisfied. I know what I'm going to do.
Break out the gun! The buffalo hunters! Break the cover! Grab the gun!
Told you, there's no way between them or behind them.
I got the money. What do they want?
Give me the money, Major.
Use your head. Don't try to go between them. They'll cut you down.
Maybe not.
Hey, Buffalo Man, I got your money. The railroad paid the damages. Hold your fire!
Get back, Wyatt. It's too late for talking.
Go back, Miss Dora! Go back! That is Miss Dora. Hold your fire.
Quit shooting. You'll hit Miss Dora.
You ain't hurt, Miss Dora.
No, I'm not, but it's a small wonder. You idiots out here shooting at each other in a darn fool row. Put down your guns, all of you. Or you'll never get a welcome again from me or my girls, and I mean it.
Look, the railroad paid your damages, $900.
It ain't enough, Wyatt.
Well, that's all you're going to get. Now, if you men hang around here with guns, the railroad's going to start the soldiers after you. You buffalo hunters haven't changed a bit from the days I was a hide hunter. You're all still stubborn and cantankerous.
Well, that settles it. Unless you behave yourselves, no more Buffalo men welcome in my dance hall.
Oh, we take the deal, Miss Dora, and we behave, don't we, boys?
Yeah, we agree to that, don't we, fellas? Yeah, we agree. No more fighting.
Now, you can take this to the city council. That's your privilege. But what Miss Dora Hand did this afternoon more than makes up for any trouble that was caused at her place. Now, I'll argue against closing her. Jim Kelly controls the majority vote in the council.
Well, I guess you're right. No hard feelings?
No, sir.
Yes, sir. Quite a woman, isn't she?
Can I tell her that it's coming from you?
Great Scott, no. I'm a happily married man.
Evening, Miss Dora.
Oh, howdy.
Did you have your talk with Reverend Hawkins?
He wants me to stay on in the choir. The women are raising such Ned. I've caused enough trouble already. Foolish notion. Me in a church.
Now, wait a minute. What is the church for except for good people and sinners? I'm going back in there and tell them what they...
Whoa, Marshal. Love thy neighbor. Be good to them that hate you, remember?
Don't smile. You don't feel like smiling?
No, I don't. You were about to say...
I was about to say that in this town of women, you're a great lady.
Thank you.
You couldn't tame a town like Dodge City, Kansas in 1876 by preaching the Golden Rule alone. If Dodge was to be civilized, the only argument was a fast gun or hard fists. Marshal Wyatt Earp knew this from bloody experience. And Marshal Earp should have known that his enemies were still out to get him by assassination or by so discrediting him that he would have to quit.
Dear Margaret, it's happened. I have fallen in love. His name is Wyatt Earp, and he's the marshal here in Dodge City. Dodge City of all places. But that's why I know it's real. Dodge is very real. There's nothing but dust and the hot Kansas sun and...
Hear that, Earp? Why don't you try to stop me from celebrating? Where's this big man? Look out, Driscoll, it's Earp!
Wyatt, are you hurt?
It was Fabian. No, ma'am, I'm not hurt at all, thanks.
But he is. Did you shoot him?
Oh, no, ma'am. I just hit Mr. Driscoll over the head. A bit.
Oh, but he's bleeding.
Yes, ma'am. Mr. Sullivan, would you take Mr. Driscoll to jail, please?
But Wyatt, shouldn't he have a doctor?
And send for Doc McCarty.
I'm sorry, Mr. Earp.
Forget it. Miss Fabian, you don't belong here.
Oh, but I was afraid that...
Now, the judge isn't going to like this. You made yourself kind of prominent.
I embarrassed you. I'm sorry.
Well, it isn't that. It's just that you shouldn't rush out when you hear gunfire. You might get yourself hurt.
Would that bother you?
Yes, ma'am, it sure would. To say nothing about how your father'd feel.
Don't tell me you're afraid of my father. Or of public opinion.
Look, Miss Sally, this is Dodge City. Like I've been trying to tell you for a week, it's a rough town. Mr. Driscoll was drunk, carrying guns in the street. They were loaded with real bullets.
All right. Once more, I'm sorry.
Will you promise me not to rush out of the hotel when you hear gunfire?
All right. Why don't you come in and talk to me?
Well, I'd like nothing better, but I can't right now.
Why not?
Well, you see, Mr. Driscoll's a friend of Mr. Rakel, and They were drinking together, and I gotta go find Mr. Rakel before he cuts loose.
I didn't dream life in a little western town could be so simple-minded.
Well, you get your father to tell you how simple-minded drunks and gunslingers can be.
No, you explain it to me. In half an hour?
I'll be back in 30 minutes.
I'll be waiting then.
Where's Mr. Rakel?
Over the Long Branch Saloon, picking a fight with the dealer.
Hey, let's go.
You and the teachers at Miss Finchley's won't believe me, but I've just returned from a street fight. My dear Wyatt had to hit a drunken man on the head with a pistol. He is still Miss Sallying me, but this time he called me Miss Fabian, so I mustn't...
Help! 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 That man is drunk! Don't let him kill me!
You bet I'll kill... Stand aside, you tin-horn Johnny Law. I'm gonna teach this little runt.
You're under arrest, Mr. Rakel.
You can't arrest me, Herb. This town belongs to the Rakel and the Driscoll outfit.
Not anymore.
Why, Mr. Rakel? Well, my old friend Judge Fabian. Judge, tell this young hoodlum
Lock him up.
Oh, one moment, Herb. I'm well acquainted with Mr. Rakel.
I'm sorry, Judge, but he pulled a gun on this man.
Oh, now, Mr. Rakel...
I said lock him up. I'm sure the judge doesn't want to argue this case in the street.
Anything I can do to help, Judge?
Yes, Mr. Albright. Try to talk some sense into that young hothead.
I'll take care of it right away, Your Honor.
Why, Papa. You look angry.
Oh, it's that young Marshal fellow, Herb. He had the cheek to arrest Bob Rakel.
Who's Mr. Rakel?
Why, he and Toby Driscoll have the two largest cattle spreads anywhere. Both fine men. Fine men.
And they're both in jail.
What?
Well, Wyatt arrested Mr. Driscoll about 10 minutes ago. He was drunk and shooting guns in the street.
Oh, no. Toby and Bob do $1 million worth of business in a year. Did I hear you call that fellow Wyatt?
Yes.
Since when are you on first-name terms with Mr. Earp?
I've been seeing him, Papa. Every chance I can get.
You and Earp?
I'm in love with him. I intend to marry Wyatt if he'll have me.
If he'll... I think we'd best talk about this later.
Let's talk about it right now.
Well, I've got to go to the jail.
Papa, Wyatt hasn't asked me, so don't blame him. Or at least, well, I do have some pride.
I've always been patient with you.
Cowboy, what are you doing in here?
Same as you, I reckon. But you'll never make this stick, Wyatt.
Look, you were drinking and shooting guns in the street, and that'll stick.
Oh, no, you don't, Herb. Turn them both loose. That's an order.
From who?
From Judge Fabian.
He hasn't heard the evidence yet.
Now, you wait a minute.
You get in there, too. Listen to you in court.
By that time, you won't be in any shape to listen.
If you want to bring your men in, try it. Albright tried it. He offered Clay Allison $1,000 to gun me. You know, the trouble with you big pistols is you turn into pop guns every time a fight's offered. Well, you'll have to stay here and watch him. But you better get some cotton to plug your ears.
All right, Judge, what's on your mind?
Well, I started to the jail to talk to Earp, but for personal reasons, I decided not to.
No use talking to him.
With George Hoover away, you're acting mayor. Yep. Well, can't you persuade Earp to release Bob and Toby?
No, sir. He threw Pete Albright in the same cell.
Albright, eh? It won't do, Mr. Kelly. You realize that, don't you? Well, Earp has to release those men. If he doesn't, he'll have both the Rakel and the Driscoll outfits treeing the town. Doesn't the young fool have any respect for his own life?
None at all. He'll never make old bones.
And that's satisfactory to you, huh?
Listen, I ain't had a moment's peace since Earp got here. He's near got me killed 4 times. The finest funeral I'd pay for him.
You sound sincere.
I am that, on oath.
Then why not discharge the man? Isn't that the simplest way out?
No, sir.
Huh?
He's like my own conscience, Judge. Bedeviling me day and night. A man can't discharge his own conscience.
You rate Mr. Earp rather high.
The bravest and the best, sir. I hate him, and I envy him.
You gonna back him in this play?
I've no choice. And neither of you, Judge. What, Lord save us all, the man's right.
My daughter seems to agree with you.
Yes. And you talk to Wyatt about that. It's a father's duty.
Well, a young man with the character you give
And
him.
he'll die young. So he's no business leaving your Miss Sally a widow.
I agree with you. And I will talk to him.
Oh, good for you, Judge.
You Rakel's men? I'm Toby Driscoll's foreman.
Oh, yeah, you're big rants, aren't you?
Wyatt Earp threw both Driscoll and Rakel in jail.
Threw them both in jail for what?
Getting a little drunk. Us Driscolls aim to go after Earp. How about you?
Well, I don't know. He's pretty fast on the draw.
Gunning's too good for him. We got other plans. Tell you about it on the way to Dodge.
All right. Come on, boys. Let's ride.
Just 1 second, sir. Wyatt, Judge Fabian to see you.
Oh, thank you, Hal. Sit down, sir.
Thank you. I came to see you on a personal matter.
Look, sir, if it's about Driscoll and the...
No. I will find them in court tomorrow morning.
Well, thank you, sir. You see, it's sort of a test case. We can't afford to treat the cattle owners any different than the hired hands. You see...
Quite so. My daughter tells me that she's been seeing you, socially.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Earp, you're in a dangerous profession.
Yes, sir.
I don't think Sally understands just how dangerous it is.
Well, I sure tried to tell her.
You in love with Sally?
Well, sir, I hope not. But I'm afraid I am.
Why do you say you hope not?
Well, sir, for the same reason you came here. We both know what kind of a life a peace officer lives, what can happen to him. You see, Sally's from Boston, and well, sometimes I get the feeling that, well, that she thinks Dodge City is just a great big Wild West show.
Yes, I'm certain of that. I don't think she realizes just how violent and brutal life on the frontier can be.
Well, sir, that's why I haven't,
Asked her to marry you?
Yes, sir.
Well, I hope you'll give yourself time to do some more thinking about it. I can't pretend that Sally would follow my wishes. She's like her mother, who insisted that we move west after the war. This country demanded more of my wife than her health could stand. I blame myself. That's why Well, thank you for hearing me out.
Yes, sir.
Good day, Marshal.
So dreadful you can't tell me. What did my father say to you?
Just what every father would say. He was really very nice about it. What he had to say made sense.
Wyatt, my father's prejudice against this country for women on account of my mother.
I know. He doesn't want you to marry a man in my line of work.
So that's it. He's afraid I couldn't face up against the daily fear of your being hurt. I'm a coward.
You think about it.
I don't want to think about it. Wyatt, you are in love with me.
Yes, I am. But it can't come true. Not right now.
Why not?
Because of what you are, Sally, and what I am. What life in Dodge is like. You can't just marry.
Why didn't you shoot back?
He was aiming high. He was just trying to warn me.
I think I would have shot back. You see, I really am quite tough.
No, you're not.
Wyatt, did I faint? Am I crying?
We haven't seen a man get hit with a .45 slug yet.
I saw you hit Mr. Driscoll with a gun.
Oh, you do have courage, Sally.
More courage than you. I'd marry you tomorrow. Say yes, Wyatt. Accept the proposal of this bold, bad woman who loves you so.
Sally, I love you so much that
Then it's settled. I'm going to be Mrs. Wyatt Earp. You can't escape now, dear.
Darling, I don't want to escape. I just want you to be sure that...
Wyatt! Wyatt! You better take Miss Sally right straight back to the hotel.
Why?
The Driscoll and Rakel outfits are headed for town. Slap his face and wake him up from dreaming. He's the Marshal of Dodge City, and if he don't think quick, he's going to be dead.
Dead?
Well, I hate to be so blunt, but you need to learn the truth.
Mr. Kelly is an excitable Irisher, Sally.
Don't let Mr. Earp blarney you. There's a bunch of mean, killing cowhands coming after him.
Very well, then. I'll have my father deputize every man in town. We'll fight them.
Not this boy. He'll try to do it all by himself.
Oh, now, Wyatt, you're not that foolhardy, are you?
Look, I've had men coming after me ever since I started as a marshal. 9 times out of 10, it was a false alarm, and the other times... Well, I'm still living. Now, you go on back to your place and soak your head in a bucket of water. I'll talk to you later. Mr. Kelly has a large imagination.
Whatever my faults, I ain't a widow maker.
Widow maker. Is that supposed to frighten me?
Oh, no, it's just bad-tempered Kelly talk.
I wonder if my father couldn't have planned this whole thing. It's quite possible.
No.
Then if it is true about the cowhands, what are you going to do?
Well, I tell you, I'm going to take you back to your hotel, and I'm going to go have a nice long talk with Mr. Kelly.
But the cowhands, he said they were going to...
I'd have punched you one. I've let all your remarks about marriage pass, but what you pulled tonight was just about the limit.
Well, save your strength. You're going to need it in the morning.
For what?
You ever hear of Big Rance, the foreman for Toby Driscoll?
No, I can't say as I have. Is he faster than Clay Allison?
He don't fight with guns. He fights with his fists.
Oh, well, that'll be a nice change.
Well, you won't think so. He's bigger than you are. And he's whipped every top fighter from here to San Antonio.
You trying to tell me that all they're going to do is try and get me into a fist fight with Rance?
Driscoll and Rakel ain't stupid. They know Judge Fabian would call in the soldiers and hang any man who tried to gun you.
All right, so there's much ado about nothing.
Nothing, is it? Rance will beat you to a bloody pulp. You'll live a cripple the rest of your days, if you don't die.
Maybe. Now, what was the idea of trying to scare Miss Sally? I asked you a question.
And you'll get no answer from me. If you don't know what's wrong with you marrying a girl like her, I'd never get it through your thick head.
That widowmaker remark, huh?
Look, I got some fine brass knuckles around here. You better try them on for size.
I don't need your brass knuckles or anything else. So you think I'll leave Miss Sally a widow, huh?
It ain't likely. When Big Rance gets through with you, there couldn't even be a marriage. Now quit being a fool and put these in your pocket.
No, thanks.
Well, I've seen Big Rance fight. At least let me show you some of his dirty tricks.
I'm not interested, Mr. Kelly. But in regards to Miss Sally, if I ever hear that...
Get out of my place! I won't sleep a wink tonight. I'll see Big Rance's fists breaking your jaw and cracking your ribs. He wears Mexican spurs on his boots, and I can see him now.
Mr. Kelly, will you kindly shut up? I found myself a brave girl. You know, you're the one that ought to be wearing skirts. Sometimes I think you're my friend, other times I think you're my enemy. You do me a favor tomorrow morning and be my friend, huh?
What's the deal?
Just don't try and stop the fight. Promise? Oh, and I hope you'll stand up for me at my wedding.
You're dreaming, Wyatt.
Judge finds us each $100. 300. Count it.
It's all right, Mr. Driscoll. I trust you when you're sober.
Thanks.
One other piece of business, Earp. None of our boys are waiting outside. They're not packing guns.
Yeah, I noticed that through the window.
My foreman, Mr. Rance, would like to have a talk with you. That is, if you'll take off your guns and keep your deputies from interrupting the conversation.
I tell you, Mr. Driscoll, I've already issued the necessary orders. I just hope you gentlemen have picked out a nice ringside section.
We're going to enjoy every second you last.
Your name, Rance?
Yeah.
Is that what you wanted?
Yeah.
Give him the spurs, Rance.
Wyatt! Stop it! Stop it! What happened? Why is Wyatt fighting?
He had no choice.
You stop him! He's lost his mind! He'll put his eyes out! He'll blind him!
Can't stop a fight. Rance won't quit.
Come on, get up. Give it up again. Come on. What's going on? Come on, Wyatt.
Wyatt, stop it! Stop it!
Come on. Give it. Rance.
Get him now, Rance. Get him.
Throw some water on. You can take more of a beating than this.
No, Wyatt, please! You've whipped him!
Stay
Get
back,
up!
Sally. Keep her back.
He's had all he can take.
All right. Anybody else want some?
Yeah, I do. The Driscolls can't whoop you. Us Rakels can.
No, Wyatt, don't fight anymore!
She's right. You're tired.
Look, I either run this town or I don't.
Come on, get up.
Should have gone back to the hotel.
You didn't have to fight that other man. It was brutal.
I'm in a brutal business. I told you that. Now you know.
Yes. Now I know.
Enemies with hating cowhands and bearing a grudge against them. Historians of the frontier have refuted this accusation, but it was a serious matter to Marshal Earp in the Dodge City of 1876. Hundreds of cowhands made the town what R.M. Wright, a local diarist, called the Cowboy capital. Marshal Earp and a handful of deputies had a tough job, keeping the peace in Dodge City. This meant daily clashes with cowhands, determined to celebrate their brief vacations from the hard work, the perils, and the loneliness of cattle ranges.
You're taking my last dollar and I can't get a job. Sure, I'll get out of town, but I'll take some of you with me. Tell the law I'll be waiting for him at the Santa Fe station.
Wyatt, fool cowhand broke loose in front of the Long Branch Cafe, wounded 2 men.
Yeah? Where is he now?
He's holed up in the Santa Fe warehouse. I guess we're going to have to blow him out, Marshal.
Maybe, but wait a minute.
What do you know about that warehouse?
Oh, Wyatt, he's just a punk kid. A couple of shots will blow him out.
Maybe not, Hal. You say he wounded 2 men?
He fired his gun at a sidewalk crowd, wounded 2 people, Mr. Todd and Mr. Chalmers. He didn't even know him.
Did you get his name?
Yeah. Milburn. Thad Milburn, somebody said. Why, do you know him?
Melbourne. Well, that's an alias Billy the Kid uses.
No, he's older than Billy the Kid.
Come on, Pete, this might be serious. Anyway, you're not going to blast him out with any shotgun.
That warehouse has a heavy door. The rest of it's double timber.
All right, we'll starve him out or use dynamite. Milburn's on a real rampage. I'm afraid...
Al, I'm afraid, too. Now, you and Pete go on down there and try and talk him out. If you won't come, just watch the door. Anyway, get behind some cover, but don't shoot.
Well, what's the idea, Wyatt?
Well, I want to arrest Milburn, not kill him. Well, maybe he's off balance. Maybe he had a reason for what he did. Anyway, I just want you to go down there and watch him until I get there.
Yes, sir. Those cowhands hate us enough without using buckshot on a fool kid.
Hey, Marshal. Hey, did you get that fella?
No, not yet.
Stole a horse and run out of town, huh?
No, he's holed up down at the Santa Fe warehouse. What do you know about him?
Well, not much. In fact, nothing at all. You see, well...
Go on, anything will help.
Well, last night, this cowhand turns up at my barn, and his horse was on his last leg. All right, I'm coming. How you want?
I don't like to disturb you, mister, but my horse is kind of sick, and
Well, I ain't no regular horse doctor.
Oh, he don't need nothing but a good night's rest in a warm stall.
Well, might have glanders or something. Don't look like it's nothing contagious. Maybe I ought to drench him with turpentine.
Well, are you sure that'll help him?
Well, I ain't making no promises. All I know is he's ailing, and a turpentine drench might bring him out of it.
Well, all right.
That'll be $1 for his board and $2 for doctoring him. In advance.
I'll be back in about an hour. Put him in a stall, but hold off on that doctrine. What's the best gambling place in this town?
Oh, around on Front Street, Long Branch Saloon.
We'll get well, Tony, the both of us. You just take it easy.
That's all I know, or care. Say, why ain't you down to Santa Fe arresting that rascal? Shot 2 men, didn't he?
No, my deputies are watching Melbourne. And you say that you think he went down to the Long Branch after he left here last night, huh?
Well, I ain't swearing to it.
Well, I'll go down and check Mr. Beeson, the Long Branch. Thanks.
Hey, Milburn! We're deputy marshals. Come out of there, you ain't got a chance.
Come and get me!
A few words with you, Mr. Beeson.
Why, sure, Wyatt.
That, young Milburn, was he playing fair on here last night?
That wild cowhand? Yeah, he was.
What happened?
Just about what you'd expect, Wyatt. Lost $40 or $50, all he had. Then, like most cowhands, they'd lose all their money.
You dump from the bottom. Let me see that box. You took my last dime. I'm out of a job. All right. All right. I don't want any trouble.
You get out of my place, cowhand, and you stay out.
All I want is my gun.
Throw it out the door. Now get out. Just a stinking cowman, Marshal. Ain't you got him in jail?
No, not yet. Your dealer cheat him?
Cheat him? Certainly not. You know, you would have said being a friend of Jim Kelly.
What's Jim Kelly got to do with it?
Just this, Marshal. That kid left here, he went right down the street to Jim Kelly's place. Now, if he got cheated or bad liquor, that's where he got it.
Well, I don't think so, but I'll ask Mr. Kelly.
Go devil and come St. Patrick. A cowhand with guns running wild, and you ask questions about what happened last night. Is Milburn a cousin of yours?
You know, he might be my kid brother.
You poked fun at me from a soft heart.
Now, look, Mr. Kelly, there's no other way of getting Milburn out of that place except to dynamite it and maybe kill him. Now, you say he pawned his gun with you, and then he won about $110.
That's right.
Where'd he go from here?
Well, let's see. I got it. He said he was looking for a job. Somebody mentioned that Tex Davis was at the Dodge Hotel.
Excuse me, Mr. Kelly.
Yeah, Jack?
Hal sent word that Milburn is threatening to come out and make a fight of it with him and Pete. Hal wants to know what you want to do.
Tell them to wing the kid if they have to. I'll be down there in a few minutes.
Yes, sir.
Well, if you want him just winged, you better do it yourself. Pete and Hal won't take chances. They'll kill him.
No. Not against orders, they won't. Now, I'm going to go try and find Mr. Tex Davis.
He's right over there.
You know, I don't know who to put in jail. Thad Milburn or Dodge City.
Lord save all here. Wyatt's losing his mind.
Howdy, Mr. Davis.
Well, howdy, Wyatt. Here, draw up a chair. Have something to drink. Bartender, hey!
Nothing for me, thanks.
Oh, not even a glass of milk?
I just wanted to ask you a question, sir.
Oh, well, fire away, son. Fire away.
Did a young fella by the name of Thad Milburn ask you for a job last night?
Oh, blasted. Now you spoiled my drink.
How's that?
Milburn, ornery little son of a mule. I tell you, Wyatt, I should have shot him. I just should have shot him dead. He came walking up to me and my lady friend on the porch.
Excuse me, sir. Are you Mr. Tex Davis?
Right, son. That's my name.
I wanted to know if you could use another hand.
Oh, yeah? Where you from?
Montana.
What outfit?
Mr. Granville's Stewards.
Oh, yeah. I sure heard about him. Why'd you quit?
Well, it was personal reasons, sir.
Personal reasons?
I didn't commit any crime, Mr. Davis.
Now, look, son, what makes you think you could ride with a Texas outfit? Look at him. Spindle shank young pup from the north where his belly's blue and his back is yellow. Stand aside, Yank.
Not very good manners.
Oh. You aiming to teach me?
It might help to pretend that you're a gentleman.
Oh, no, Colonel, please.
Let go my arm!
Don't, he's drunk.
Yeah, I should have shot him. But I turned on my heel and I left them both flat. And it served that girl right. You got that crazy kid in jail?
Oh, you're also of the opinion that I should put him in jail, Mr.
Well,
Davis?
of course I am. Of course I am. The idea of him thinking he can ride with a Texas outfit. Why, sir, in Montana, do you know that they're putting up fences? They're looping the range with fences?
That's very sad.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Mr. Davis.
Oh, that's very sad.
Get your guns cocked, Johnny Law. Here I come.
we hit him? Huh? Did we hit him any?
No, shooting trying to wing a man is harder than trying to kill him. Tell Hank to get the dynamite. We're gonna need it ready when Wyatt gets here.
Right.
Marshal Earp, Mr.
What do you want?
Well, I'd like to ask you a few questions about Thad Milburn.
Well, all right. Did you shoot him? Is this for the coroner's inquest?
No, he's still alive.
In jail? You tell me, and I'll tell you, Mr. Earp. Otherwise, no conversation.
That's fair enough. Now, what I'm trying to find out is why Milburn would shoot into a crowd of innocent bystanders this morning. Does that make sense to you?
Sure. One of the most sensible things I ever saw a cowhand do was what Milburn did.
Why do you say that?
Thad wasn't treated very good in this town, Mr. Earp. I suppose you talked to Mr. Kelly, Mr. Beeson, and Colonel Davis. A mean cowhand would have killed Davis. Thad had every right to shoot him. Colonel was so drunk he could hardly stand up, much less hit the side of a barn with a Derringer pistol.
All right. I've traced Milburn to the point where he met you on the Dodge Hotel porch. What happened after that?
You gonna quote me around? Get me in trouble?
No. But Milburn's holed up at the Santa Fe warehouse. He's threatened to shoot it out with my deputies. I gotta know the truth about him and know it quick.
All right. You get the truth. Last night, on the porch.
Yeah.
Don't be a fool, cowhand. We got a real tough marshal.
Yeah. Wyatt Earp. What were you doing out with that old man anyway?
I figured him for $100, maybe two. But you kind of spoiled it.
Are you hard up, broke?
Never mind. Get on your way. The colonel might come back.
Well, he's sore at you the same as me. I'll walk along with you wherever you're going.
No, thanks.
Well, I gotta go over to the livery stable and look after my horse. You sure you'll be all right, miss?
Just look after your horse.
Tony's kind of sick, or I wouldn't go rushing off.
Wait. Did you leave him at Ruger's or Brown's?
Well, Ruger's.
Uh-oh. I'll walk along with you if you don't mind.
I'd be right pleased, ma'am. This town's kind of lonesome. I guess he's closed and gone home.
No, there's a light on in here.
Maybe he's had a doctor in. I asked him to hold off on the doctor until I got back.
Wait, Thad, give me your gun.
Huh?
Just give it to me.
Well, what did you do that for?
I know old man Ruger. Mr. Ruger!
Yeah? What do you want? Yeah? Oh, you should have come back sooner. I couldn't do nothing for that horse.
Where is he?
He's in there. Where'd you pick him up?
Same place you did, Dodge City.
Oh, I tried to be friendly and decent.
In a pig's eye you did.
I asked you not to doctor him.
Well, sure, but the poor critter went into a fit. I dosed him with heart pills. It's all I could do. But he was too far gone.
Where's my saddle?
Well, I'm holding it.
Why?
It'll cost me $10 to bury that horse. Have you got it?
You know what I think, mister? I think you killed Tony, and now you're trying to hold me up for burying him.
I don't care what you think.
$10 cash or I keep the saddle.
You horse-killing thief.
Stop it, Dad. You haven't got a chance. You're a cowhand. Let go of him.
I'm burning myself the first thing at sunup, and he better be just like he is. You try to skin that horse to sell his hide, I'll kill you.
Come on, Dad.
Is that the last time you saw Melbourne?
What do you take me for? Or him? Came back here and had a drink.
Oh, I see.
No, you don't see. Thad slept on the floor. He had nightmares. Mostly about being lost in a blizzard up north. Montana.
All right.
It ain't all right. None of it. He's a decent, simple kid. Had to quit riding herd up there because he almost froze to death once. The doctor told him to move south. All he wanted in this town was fair treatment and a chance to do the only thing he ever worked at. Being a cowhand.
Did you give him fair treatment, Miss Ginger?
No.
Come on. Where's the money you won at Mr. Kelly's place?
I earned it, didn't I? He would have killed Davis and Ruby.
Come on. What time did he leave her?
I don't know. I guess around sunup to bury his horse.
Hal, where's Mr. Earp?
Well, I don't know. Ain't he been down here yet?
No, we ain't got time to stall around any longer.
He started snapping at everybody. Train will be in at 4 o'clock. He might even go shooting up the train.
Well, we'll rig the fuse to the dynamite.
Oh, howdy, Marshal.
You told me the truth.
Hey, who you pushing around?
You!
No, no.
Now, wasn't Melbourne here this morning come sunup?
Yes, he come here at sunup to bury that horse.
What happened?
Well, I'd already skinned the horse.
How come he didn't skin you?
I didn't let him see me. I hid up in the loft.
Too bad.
Well, he owed me money. And he's a thief besides. My Winchester and all my cartridges are missing from the office. You're a fine city marshal, you are. Rousting an honest citizen around while that no-good cowhand's on the loose ready to shoot up the town.
Well, it's a wonder he didn't shoot up the town. Commencing with you. Is this his saddle?
Yeah.
Well, you just keep it for him, you understand?
Yeah.
Wyatt! Wyatt! Have you lost your good senses entirely?
No, but I almost lost my temper.
Well, never
This horse
mind
killing
about
old-
him. You know what your deputies are fixing to do? They're gonna blow up that kid with dynamite.
No, they won't. They got their orders.
Orders, is it? Well, you'd better get over to the Santa Fe and enforce them.
Well, I found out all I need to know about Mr. Melbourne. Here, lend me your hat and coat, will you?
What?
Just take off the coat. Melbourne's never seen me. I want to look like a cattleman.
Why?
Don't ask so many questions, Mr. Kelly. I'm going into the Secret Service.
We'll keep him busy here. You sneak around back and plant the dynamite. Dig it in good so the whole place will blow.
Well, maybe we ought to wait a minute. Wyatt gave us strict orders.
I'll take the blame. We haven't got time. The train will be here in about 5 minutes. Go on. Hey, Melbourne. We waited long enough. Come on out and get blown out.
You can't bluff me, Johnny Law.
It ain't no bluff, kid. We got 20 sticks of dynamite planted in the back.
I think you're a liar, but I'm coming out as cold in here. Maybe you can warm me up.
Hold it! Hey, you there. Hey, Callahan.
What do you want?
Well, I'd like to have a few words with you. And you Johnny Laws, you hold your fire. I'm looking for a good cowhand.
Hank! Hank, hold your fire. Don't light anything.
Sonny, you in there, you be kind of easy on that trigger. I'm looking for a hand, but I don't aim to get myself killed trying to hire none.
This better not be a trick, mister.
Well, it ain't no trick. Just open up the door.
Close the door. How come those deputies listen to you? They claim they got this place mined with dynamite.
Well, now, you know, I wouldn't put it past them. You know, it's just no end to the dirty tricks that Dodge City play on a cowhand.
Who told you so much?
Well, I'm kind of an old...
Stand back.
I'm kind of an old settler in these parts. I've been here about 4 months now.
Settler? Thought you said you were a cattleman. Who are you? What's your name?
Wyatt Earp.
It is a trick. Turn around. No guns. I don't get it. You must have sense enough to know I can hold you as a hostage.
You sure can, Mr. Milburn. But after what Mr. Beeson, Davis, Ruger, and that girl did to you, I couldn't blame you a bit if you shot me in the back.
Turn around, Mr. Earp. How do you know what's happened to me in this town?
Well, I kind of made it my business to find out.
Why would you go to all that trouble for me? I'm nothing but a cowhand.
You know, you look all right, but you better have the doc see that leg.
Maybe I'm stupid, but I sure don't understand any of this.
Well, Mr. Milburn, I'm of the opinion that a cowhand is a human being. I'm kind of fond of my own horse, too. I could have busted Mr. Ruger's head after I saw what he did to your Tony.
Thanks.
Oh, I almost forgot it. I got the money that Ginger owed you for.
I still don't trust you, Mr. Earp. You're going out of here in front of me.
That'd be a good idea. You ready to go? Well, you better bring that Winchester. It might come in handy. Now, Mr. Milburn, I told Ruger to give you back your saddle. Buy yourself a horse and ride out of town.
Sure, and have a posse after me?
No posse.
What's the catch?
You wounded 2 men under extreme provocation. But if you stand trial, I promise to get you off on a suspended sentence. Now, if you don't believe that, you can take it on the run.
Do like the Marshal says, cowhand. If it wasn't for him, you wouldn't be living now.
I had the match lit, kid.
All right, Mr. Earp. I stand trial.
I'll take him over to Doc McCarty's.
Marshal, you know, you committed a mighty serious crime.
Oh, how's that?
That coat, that hat. You've been impersonating a Texan.
Rollins killed an awful good friend of yours, Wyatt.
Got your bunt line special. Why don't you drop him as he comes down the trail? Or hang him right here.
Sheriff Bassett, his chief deputy Bill Tillman, Marshal Wyatt Earp are all thinking the same thing.
Well?
No. We take him alive and let the law hang him.
You sure you'll stick to that?
I don't know.
Better make up your mind, Wyatt. Here he comes.
Perhaps the main reason his enemies hated Marshal Wyatt Earp was Wyatt's profound loyalty to his friends. Then there were such characters as Jim Kelly and Dora Hand, the queen of Dodge City nightlife. Jim Kelly, the saloon keeper who backed Wyatt in his struggle to civilize roarin', snortin' Dodge. And Dora Hand, a legend in her own lifetime on the frontier, whose romance with Kelly and friendship with Wyatt caused some lifting of eyebrows among the respectable citizens of Dodge City. But Wyatt Earp, having once gained a friend, was loyal to that friend to the last ditch.
Howdy, Wyatt.
Hey, you look like a married man already, Mr. Kelly.
None of your bachelor grins now. I may back out on it entirely. And what would you think of that?
You'll be at the church tomorrow. Where's Miss Dora?
Still sewing on that dress. I tell you what, I'm shaky. Hey, what are you toting?
Oh, it's a present. And it's hefty. I'm kind of scared to show it to Miss Dora.
What is it now?
Never mind. It's for the bride-to-be to open, not you.
What? I'm not good enough for her.
No, you're not.
I knew you'd say that, and I ought to get sore. But it's the Lord's own truth. You can't take a man out of a saloon and put him in a hardware store on the right side of town and expect a miracle.
Now, Miss Dora doesn't expect that. She knows you.
But is it fair now for me to be marrying her?
Mr. Kelly, the women always get the worst of it. They expect that. Anyway, if women weren't braver than men, there'd be mighty few marriages. No, Miss Dora knows exactly what she's got to put up with.
Come in, Wyatt. Put the clock down.
Clock?
It's a beautiful Seth Thomas with chimes. And you paid far too much for it. But there's no need to pretend we don't need a clock. You open it, Jim. You're the head of the household.
How'd you find out that I was giving you a clock?
Mr. Levy told me that you sent all the way to St. Louis for it. And he didn't want you to waste money on something we didn't need. Oh, Jim, isn't he beautiful?
Sure is. One of those new 8-day clocks. Must have cost you mighty near a month's pay.
Oh, now mind your manners, Kelly. You know that we don't put a price on anything. Oh, you better let Wyatt put it on the mantelpiece. I don't trust Jim in the state he's in.
Want me to wind it?
Oh, no, it's bad luck. Wait until after the wedding tomorrow.
But we sure do thank you. Do I get to wind it?
Bend down, Wyatt. We'll treasure this all our lives.
Thank you, Miss Dora. Mr. Kelly, you don't know how lucky you are.
We're both fools for luck. Oh, this is a far cry from the Alhambra Saloon and Dora's dance hall. Oh, why, Wyatt... Dear.
What's wrong?
It's that relative. You know, hon, the one whose father owns that big ranch down in Texas.
I'll settle his hash.
No, you let me take care of it. He thinks he's in love with me. I'll let him down easy.
But Dora...
Now stay out of it, Kelly.
Let Miss Dora handle it.
Howdy, Bob.
Is it true?
What do you mean?
As soon as I hit town, they told me about you marrying that old man. It can't be true.
If you mean Jim Kelly, he's not an old man. Yes, we are getting married tomorrow.
That Irish saloon keeper? You're smarter than that.
Oh, how smart should I be?
Dora, listen. I told you I'd marry you just as soon as I collected from my mama. Well, I collected. I'm over 21 and my old man hasn't got a thing to say about it.
I don't rob cradles, Bob. I told you that, didn't I?
You ain't marrying Jim Kelly.
Oh, yes, I am tomorrow.
You're marrying me.
Bob, look. Your pop may own half of Texas, but it doesn't make any difference to me if he owns the whole state. I'm 30 years old. Go back to Texas, Bob. Get a gal your own age.
Now, get on your horse, kid.
Well, the bridegroom, you think. You stupid Irish no-good.
Get on over here, Dora.
Quiet.
Get in the house, both of you.
Kelly, temper now. Come on, do it, Wyatt.
So you're Wyatt Earp, huh?
That's right.
That's supposed to impress me? My name is Rellens. Bob Rellens.
I heard of your father. Nothing very good. I don't want to hear any more about you. Now, you get in that horse and ride out of this town. Leave it alone. You're a spoiled brat.
Sit on, Kelly. Give you that beating.
You swing another punch at me, and I'm going to give you that licking, boy.
You're bigger than me, Earp. But Dora ain't gonna marry that Irish, you understand?
I told you to get on that horse. The time's run out in this town. If I see you here again, your father isn't going to know you.
I'll get me another gun, Earp. You tell that friend Kelly, Dora ain't gonna marry that Irisher.
Wyatt. Wyatt. Jim wants to go gunning for that fool kid.
Won't be necessary. Mr. Kelly, would you bring my hat?
But Bob is so mean when he's jealous and drunk.
You and Jim forget about it. I'll run him out of town. Thank you. I'll see you both at the party tonight, huh?
Oh, yes, of course, Wyatt. There wouldn't be any party without you.
Thanks. Hello, Sam.
Oh, hello, Marshal.
You got a guest here by the name of Bob Rellens?
Yeah, but he checked out. Not 5 minutes ago.
Where is he now, do you know?
Threw his saddlebags on his horse and rode off. Acted sore at all us folks in Dodge. Reckon he headed back to Texas. And a good riddance, if you ask me.
Yeah, it sure is, if he did go.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Howdy, Wyatt.
Howdy, Sheriff. Mr. Tillman, I'm hunting for Bob Rellens.
Jim, what's he done?
Shot somebody in the back?
Oh, he threatened Jim Kelly. I ordered him to leave town.
He didn't leave?
I'm not sure. I've had my deputies out hunting for him since before noon. I was wondering if you and Mr. Tillman would give me a hand.
Of course, Wyatt. If that Rellens kid was still in town, where do you figure he'd be hiding?
Well, Steve Corning's old man Rellens' lawyer up here.
You talk to Steve.
Right.
I'll get some of my deputies. We'll help you check the trails.
Thanks, Charlie. That'd be the quickest way. I don't want Mr. Kelly's wedding interfered with.
Nobody does. Him and Dora have invited the whole town. Everybody will turn out to wish him well, too.
And don't worry about Rellens, Wyatt. We'll find him.
Thanks.
Howdy, Bob.
Howdy.
You're heading the wrong way, ain't you?
I'm heading for Texas. Is that the wrong way?
You'll be missing all the fun, Bob.
Oh?
Jim Kelly's marrying Dora Hand tomorrow. Free drinks and a picnic all day long.
That's too bad. I gotta shove along home now.
Bye.
Bye.
Howdy, Marshal. Sheriff?
We're looking for a boy by the name of Bob Rellens. You happen to know him?
Sure. I just passed him down the road a ways.
Heading south?
Yep. I charged him a little about missing the big day tomorrow. Kelly getting married, you know. But he said they had to move along home to Texas.
Did he act drunk or sore or anything?
Why no, Sheriff. It's a fair question. What are you after him for?
Marshal Earp ordered him to leave town. We're just making sure he left. I guess the boy come to his senses, Wyatt.
Yeah, I guess so.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
If you're still not satisfied, we can overtake the boy. I don't know what we could arrest him for.
No, Charlie, not much sense in that. Guess I'm just kind of jumpy.
Kelly should be nervous, not you. Come on, get him off your mind.
Well, gentlemen, this is the finest bachelor dinner I've ever attended. And the soberest. Jim Kelly, you're very good health.
That's right. Let's have a speech, Mr. Kelly.
Yeah, come on, how about a few words?
Well, Dora talked me into having the dinner here. She wanted to keep me sober.
Oh.
But we've had our fun and our jokes now, but in the general excitement, I plumb forgot to ask the Reverend to say grace. I hope it's not too late for his blessing on this house.
My good friends, I'm not going to say grace. Mr. Kelly, you and Miss Dora blessed this house with your love. Only love can bless a house and a marriage. But it took considerable more than that. It took great courage to cross Marshal Earp's deadline, to start a new life on this side of town. I'm wondering what you have to say to that, Mr. Earp.
Amen.
I say God bless all of you. Without Wyatt's help, the Reverends, and all of you, I'd have never made it. It's a little miracle, it is, turning a hoodlum like me into a respectable merchant.
Good evening, gentlemen. Did you have too much to drink, Kelly? Shame on you. In front of the Reverend Hawker, too. I thought you were going to watch out for him, Wyatt.
Oh, he only had a couple of glasses of champagne.
It isn't the wine, it's the Irish in him, Miss Dora.
Lovely things was said, Dora. Lovely.
I apologize. Mrs. Hawker's waiting outside for you. And Mrs. Hoover's waiting outside for you. She's worried about you. And I'm worried about all of you. Bachelor dinner. You know it's 2 o'clock in the morning.
But, Dora...
We're going to have one of the biggest weddings that Dodge City's ever had.
Miss Dora's right, it is getting kind of late.
Good night.
Good night. Good night,
Thank
Mayor.
you. Good night.
Good night.
I'm going to take Mr. Kelly on over to the hotel and see that he gets tucked into bed.
Thank you, Wyatt.
Hold on, Wyatt. I haven't showed her my wedding outfit.
Where is it, Kelly?
Wyatt left it in the bedroom. Now, the hat and coat may be too loud.
I'm a little tired, Kelly. Anything you wear will be all right with me.
She'll look at it, and she'll let you know whether she likes it in the morning. So, I'll wait for you outside. Good night, Miss Dora.
Good night, Wyatt. Good night, Kelly. Dream me an Irish dream.
I will. That I will.
Don't forget the wedding tomorrow.
What? I don't like leaving her alone.
She's not alone. Mrs. Norton's staying with her.
You sure Rellens didn't sneak back?
If he did come back, he'd be after you, not Miss Dora. Well, he's probably 50 miles down the trail to Texas by now. Come on.
Dora, is she hurt bad? I'll go for Doc McCarty. No, you go.
Come on, give me a hand.
Dora.
Take it easy.
Wyatt, she's hurt bad. Do something. Do something.
There's nothing to do, Mr. Kelly.
Oh, Dora.
Don't take on so, Mr. Kelly.
Let him cry. He's got a better right to cry. I'm going after Rellens.
Now, we know he left by the Jones and Plummer Trail, but he'd be a fool to stay on it with only an hour head start.
And he'll circle to ford the Cimarron and hit the Texas Trail in the Nations.
That'll be my guess, Charlie. The best ford is right here by Wagon Bed Springs.
No, that's a big gamble, Wyatt. Why, it's 70 miles across that prairie to the springs. Besides, he may get there ahead of us.
Then we run him all the way to Texas.
How much further the Cimarron, you figure, Wyatt?
Well, about 30 miles over there.
Been riding 6 hours now. We better lay up and rest the horses.
Well, I vote we go on.
Wyatt's right. Man on the run usually figures he's got a posse of soft town folks after him. This may be our one chance to head Rellens off.
Let's go.
United States Marshal, open up.
This Wagon Bed Springs?
Yes, sir.
How far is it to Cimarron Ford?
Oh, gosh almighty, it's just across that field.
You seen any horsemen today or heard any tonight?
Nobody traveling either way, mister.
That's good. Charlie, you and Bill, get yourself warm and rest your horses. I'm going to go on down to the ford and make sure. All right. Can I borrow your lantern, mister?
Help yourself, Marshal. Thanks. You other gentlemen go over and water your horses and come on in the house.
Thank you.
Easy, Wyatt. Thought you'd like some coffee.
Thanks. That's good. I figure Rellens will be by come sunup. Make the fight right here, keep the shots away from the house.
Well, have you thought it over? What? Do we just kill him outright, or do we hang him?
Can't do either one, Charlie. You know that. Supposed to bring him in alive.
Rellens has an awful powerful papa, Wyatt. The old man will spend any amount to get him off.
Money isn't going to get him off. They'll hang him in Dodge after a fair trial.
I hope so.
But you doubt it, huh? You, Bill, and I are officers of the law. All we can do is arrest the skunk. We're not supposed to judge him or execute him.
Fine. Come on. Let's get out of this and get some rest.
Kill that girl in cold blood.
Even if he meant it for Kelly, he had murder in his heart.
Wyatt, I'll drop him. Or better yet, how about Charlie and me cutting loose on him together?
I feel the same way you do. I know better, and so do you. Just knock him off his horse.
You do it, Wyatt. I don't trust myself.
All right. Here he comes.
Oh! Oh!
Did I get Kelly?
No. You killed Miss Dora.
You're lying.
Don't you never call Wyatt a liar. He's a fool to let you live, but he's telling the truth. You killed a girl.
Dora. Go ahead. Finish me off.
Oh, I'd like to. Killing's too good for you. Where you hit?
In the back, I can't feel my legs.
Your horse ridge spoiled my aim.
Oh!
Shit bad. Have to make a stretcher.
Order! Order! The accused will come forward. Mr. Rellens, in the opinion of this court, you are guilty of murder. Doctors have testified that you will never walk again and might die at any time. This court, however, is not swayed by irrelevant facts. Order! Order! Any more disturbance and I'll have Marshal clear the courtroom. Your counsel, Mr. Rellens, have asked a change of venue on the ground that public opinion is so inflamed in Dodge City that you could not receive a fair trial here. The court is obliged to agree to their contention.
Quiet! Quiet! Sit down! Sit down and stay there.
For the benefit of the public, the court must observe that any man accused of any crime is guaranteed a fair trial by the law of the country. Change of venue is hereby granted, and you'll be tried in Abilene. Sheriff Bassett, remove the prisoner. Court adjourned.
You better give him a good charge. You better do.
No, Mr. Kelly. Killing Lawrence isn't going to bring her back. You'd have to punish you as a common hoodlum. Do you think Miss Dora would want that? They'll hang him in Abilene. If they don't, he'll pay in remorse and pain the rest of his life. Even if he gets off scot-free, Mr. Kelly, he'll still have to face the final judge.
The code of the frontier peace officer was a simple and unwritten law. You gave any man a chance to surrender. If he reached for a gun, you hit him on the head with the barrel of a .45 or you shot to disable him. Wyatt Earp, as Marshal of Ellsworth, Wichita, and Dodge City, followed this code to the letter, often at the risk of his own life. But young Bat Masterson, his new deputy marshal, had a lot to learn. Despite Wyatt's instructions, Bat was apt to get excited or trigger happy.
Go get Marshal Earp. Billy Jordan's on the prod. He'll hurt somebody.
And another thing, Mr. Masterson, sparking dance hall girls and being a deputy marshal, they just don't mix. Now, morals have nothing to do with it. It's just that I can't run an office like this with one of my deputies going around telling secrets to some fairy belle in a dance hall.
I don't tell him a thing, Wyatt.
No, not so far, but there's always the next girl.
Hello, Wyatt.
Al?
Some drunk cowhand shooting up the Long Branch. I'll take care of him.
Oh. Why don't you take Mr. Masterson along with you? The quicker he learns our methods, the better off he'll be.
Come on, Bat.
Will one shotgun be enough?
Oh, that'll be plenty. Oh, Hal will scare him and you grab him.
Your cards are crooked.
I don't need to squawk to Wyatt Earp. Everybody out! This place is closed! Yeah?
All right, Billy. You emptied your gun.
I got more bullets in my belt.
Drop it.
Oh, no. No, Johnny. No.
He was only bluffing. He's hurt pretty bad. You gotta get him over to Doc McCarty's office.
His gun was empty, so you shoot him in the back.
I didn't know that.
Well, never mind that. Give me a hand. Come on, somebody, give me a hand. Bat thought he was gonna shoot me.
You tell Earp I want to see him about this.
Yeah, all right, Mr. Beeson. Come on, Bat.
See what Earp has to say. Hired a trigger-happy kid for a deputy.
Mr. Beeson, I just came from the doc's office. He says Jordan has a chance.
Do you think Masterson did right?
Well, I haven't had a chance to talk to him yet. But as a general rule, when a man is told to drop his guns, he better do it or he's asking for trouble.
Are you defending Bat?
I'm responsible for all my deputies.
Well, I just wanted to know. You see, I'm going to have to explain this to Billy Jordan's old man, his brothers, and his cousins. You're in trouble, Earp.
All right. If they want to talk to me, I'll be around. It's also a general rule, Mr. Beeson, that a customer checks his guns. How'd Jordan get so drunk that he waved a .45 in the face of a deputy with a shotgun?
So the main point is, Wyatt, that I knew Jordan wasn't going to shoot, but Bat didn't. He was standing behind the kid.
Thanks, Sal. Oh, make another check down at Doc McCarty's, will you?
Yeah.
All right, say it.
No, you say it.
I got excited, sure. Was afraid Jordan would cut loose at Hal.
Well, Mr. Masterson, we all make mistakes.
I don't think it was a mistake. I was playing it safe for Hal.
You could have shot Jordan in the arm or the shoulder.
When taking a chance, sure.
Look, we all take chances. I aim to wing a man instead of shooting to kill. Thought you knew what my policy was when you hired on here.
Yeah, well, I don't agree with it.
Oh, you don't, huh?
Look, you're lightning with a gun and dead accurate. You can't expect us deputies to take the same risks you run.
Hal didn't shoot, and he had more reason to fire than you did.
He might have got his head blown off, too.
No, he's had experience with drunks. You're under arrest, Mr. Masterson.
Arrest?
And don't leave the jail. Gonna have to find out what Jordan's relatives think about it.
Relatives?
That's right. They all have relatives and friends, Mr. Masterson. That's why we try not to kill people. How is he, Doc?
Well, he's still alive.
Did you get the bullet on?
No, it was awfully close to the heart.
Well, you think he'll make it?
Not unless that slug comes out. I've stopped the worst bleeding, but the bullet nicked a rib. It's probably jagged enough to cut an artery.
Well, you can operate, can't you?
I could, Wyatt, but, you know, working that close to the heart, maybe we'll have time to get a fine surgeon from Kansas City.
Hey, what about a Army surgeon from Fort Dodge? It's only about 25 miles away.
Not much chance of getting one, I'm afraid.
All right, boys. Take off your gun belts. Hang them on your saddles.
Looks like some of Billy Jordan's folks.
I wish you'd ask him to stay outside for a while.
I'll try it. Any of you Jordans?
We're all Jordans. My boy in there?
Yes, sir. But he's asleep. Dr. McCarty thinks you ought to wait a while.
Billy's still alive.
Yes, sir.
Tell me that one of your deputies shot Billy.
He was resisting arrest.
With an empty gun and his back turned?
Look, we know who it was. If Billy don't pull through,
Hold
we're
it,
gonna...
son. Want to tell me you've been mighty decent in handling arrests. But I can't understand why you'd hire a young fellow like Masterson.
You want the honest truth?
Yes.
Mr. Masterson got excited and used poor judgment. But we've all made mistakes and...
Killing ain't just a mistake. If my boy loses out, so does Masterson.
That would be a mistake too, Mr. Jordan. I must warn you and your boys not to wear guns in this town.
We're not gonna wear them. Just gonna keep them handy.
You put Wyatt in an impossible situation. He'll be too loyal to fire you. He may even feel he has to back you up if it comes to a gunfight. Now, I'm sorry, but it seems to me that...
I'll quit. I'll turn in my badge.
No, you won't. Billy Jordan's still alive. You go on down and make your regular patrol.
Yes, sir. I thought I was under arrest.
I wanted to keep you here until I had a chance to talk to the Jordans.
But Wyatt, it isn't only the Jordans. Public opinion
I know,
is...
sir. Go on.
Why don't you let him resign?
Because he has the makings of the top-notch officer. Legally, he was within his rights. I'm going to get a telegram off to Captain Benteen over at the fort. Maybe he'll send us an army surgeon. Excuse me, sir. Hal? Hal?
Yes, sir.
Get this telegram off right away, will you?
If Doc McCarty can't save the boy, no one else can, and you know it.
It's a chance, sir.
Hang it all, Wyatt. You're carrying loyalty too far. The Jordans could gun Masterson, and any jury in Dodge would turn him loose.
Mr. Mayor, I don't defend what he did. I told Jordan's father I thought he made a mistake.
Then let him take his punishment.
You don't really mean that, sir. Besides, he's taking his punishment. He's taking it right now. Now, right now, Mr. Masterson is just about the lonesomest young man in the world.
Hello, Mr. Kent. Howdy, Mr. Prentice. Gotta check the shotgun, Mr. Beeson. I was over at Doc McCarty's. He said Jordan's holding his own.
No thanks to you.
Now, wait a minute.
You finished your business here. Now get out of my place.
Eve Tuttle, where you been keeping yourself? Hey, now, Eve, we're supposed to be old friends. We rode trail together. Hi, Joni, Mildred. Where's Charlene? Look, Charlene, I've had enough of this. What's the idea of you hiding and giving me the cold shoulder?
I know Billy Jordan and his folks.
That's what I've been trying to tell you. I couldn't help it. I thought he was going to shoot Hal.
Don't get me mixed up in it.
Mixed up in what?
In the fight that's coming between you and the Jordans.
They're not gonna.
Oh, yes, they are. If you've got any sense, you'll leave town before they come.
Run from them? Is everybody crazy?
You're the one who's wrong. I suppose you think Marshal Earp and the other deputies are going to stick up for you?
Wide will. That's all I need.
Get out of town, Bat. You'll live longer. I've got to go back inside.
Captain Bentine's sending an army doctor. Says he's a fine surgeon.
How long will it take him to get here?
A couple of hours if he's got a good horse.
You better have someone meet him on the trail with a fresh horse.
That much of a hurry? I'll get a man off before sundown.
An army doctor? Why?
We have to cut the bullet out, Mr. Jordan.
Will you cut it out? We're wasting time.
I'm not that good with a knife.
Look, Mr. Jordan, you let the doctor decide what he can do and what he can't do. See you later.
Hey. I'll send one of these boys to meet the army doc with an extra fast horse.
Dr. Perkins know you? It's going to have to be somebody he knows.
How's that?
Well, there's been a lot of outlaws riding that trace from the fort. You stay here, I'll send a man that he'll recognize.
Right away?
My horse and his own.
Oh, so you're trying to save young Masterson.
Dr. Perkins is going to try and help your boy. If he can't, I'll help Mr. Masterson.
You go get old man Jordan and his men. And bring your guns. Well, don't just stand there staring at me. All right, if you ain't moved by the time I count three... Hold it.
What are you going to do, go around shooting people just because they stare at you? We'll talk inside.
Yes, sir.
And lonesome on patrol, huh?
Yeah, and I'm not going to take any more of it. Where's Dad Jordan?
He's over at Doc's place.
All right. I'll have it out with him. No sense in dragging you into my fight.
Well, I'm already in it.
Thanks just the same. Here, I'm quitting.
Mr. Masterson, it's about time you really grew up. You made an error in judgment today, and a lot of people hate you for it. But when a grown man blunders, he doesn't try and cover it up with worse foolishness. A gunfight single-handed against 5 Jordans, huh?
What else? They're just waiting for Billy to die, then they come after me. I want it over with.
Killing a few Jordans and getting yourself killed?
I don't see that I got much choice.
You know Dr. Perkins over at the fort?
Sure, he fixed up my leg.
Well, the doctor's riding here to try and help Billy Jordan. I want you to take my horse and ride your own out there to meet him. It'll hurry the doc's getting here. Doc McCarty doesn't think Jordan has much time. Don't you owe Billy that much?
They'll come after me.
I'll gun the first one that tries it.
Well, then they'll all say you're fighting my fights.
They say you're a murderer. But you shot a man in the back. Anything worse I can say?
No, sir.
Bet you give me 5 minutes for me and the boys get down to Doc Jordan. Then you hit the trail.
Masterson's trying to run out of town. He just galloped off from the jail.
All right, come on, we'll get him.
Hold it!
Take their horses and guns on over to the jail yard.
Your friend can't run far enough or fast enough.
He's not running. He'll be back. He went to get Dr. Perkins.
Us folks still have some legal rights, you know. I want to send one of these boys after Mayor Hoover.
Yeah, you can do that. In a half hour.
Go get him. Right now.
Hey, I said a half hour.
Howdy, Dr. Perkins.
That's Bat Masterson. My apologies for the gun, but I've been held up so many times.
Marshal Earp sent you his horse. Jordan's pretty bad off, Doctor.
We better be getting along, eh?
Right.
All right, Bat, we'll hustle.
We'll leave your horse at the way station down the road.
All right.
Let's ride. Come on.
And you get tough with Mr. Jordan here, whose son is desperately ill. I don't care what the provocation is. I'm not going to have the respectable citizens of Dodge rousted around by the marshal's office.
You're the mayor, Mr. Hoover.
Yes, I am. And I want you to return the property you seized from Mr. Jordan and his party.
The horses and the guns?
Yes, at once.
I told you, Earp, there's nothing you can do to save Masterson. And I thank you kindly, sir.
Not at all, Mr. Jordan. And Wyatt, I warned you.
Is he worse?
Yes. Shouldn't Dr. Perkins be here by now?
I figure another 15 or 20 minutes.
If Masterson really went for him.
You're going to get your horses and your guns. But if Mr. Masterson has to make a fight for it, he won't be alone.
I never thought he would be.
Wyatt, have you lost your head? This thing is bad enough without a gunfight between you and the Jordans.
You expect me to let one of my deputies get shot down with the odds 5-1 against him?
He was wrong.
Not wrong enough to die for it, sir. I've come within an inch of killing a few men myself. Now, I'll give the Jordans their guns back only because you order it. I'll give you my star and my job. But I won't give you a brother officer's life. Now, look, I've known Mr. Masterson a long time. But he's a newcomer to both of you, and I still say you can keep out of it.
We like the kid, Wyatt. He thought he had to shoot Billy Jordan to save me. Let's get over there.
Fine. But remember one thing. We stay out of it until we find out Billy makes it. The Jordans aren't going to do anything to Mr. Masterson if that surgeon can pull Billy through. All right, let's go.
I'll tie the horses.
So, you're Masterson. I'm Billy's father. Take him around there and set him down, boys, like Wyatt Earp did to us. We won't have long to wait.
Shouldn't we scatter and get them from both sides of the house?
No, they'd kill Bat. It's my stupid fault for getting here late. You keep me covered. I'll try and keep them talking.
Raise him, Earp.
They're up, Mr. Jordan.
I ask you to keep out of it.
Well, I am out of it. Mr. Jordan's got the drop. You were wrong, weren't you?
Wrong?
Sure, he came back, brought Dr. Perkins, didn't he?
That didn't change nothing.
No. What if Billy pulls through?
Don't let him jabber, Dad. Take his guns.
I've got him covered. You take him.
No. You don't take my guns. Mr. Jordan, tell him to stand back.
Hold it, son. Are you aiming to make a fight of it? I could pull this trigger and drop you.
Well, you wouldn't be that stupid.
Why, you...
Mr. Masterson is a lonesome man right now. You could kill him and get away with it if your son dies. You drop me and you're going to hang.
Are you gonna shut him up?
Shut yourself up. You're right, Mr. Marshal. I don't want to pull this trigger. All I want is for my boy to live. But if he don't, you're gonna get it, and so is Masterson.
Go ahead and shoot me. Wyatt, don't go for your guns. You can kill 2 or 3 of them, but they'll cut you down.
Well, I know that. But Hal and Jack are just across the street. If they start this fight, there won't be a Jordan left alive except Billy.
He's bluffing, Dad. Pull the trigger or I will.
No. I'll do it.
What is all this? Which one of you is the boy's father?
I am. Is he dead?
No, we took the slug out. He's got a better chance to live than you have. Did you have to kill him, Marshal?
You can get off the first shot. But it better be awful good.
Doc, don't lie to me. Is Billy gonna pull through?
He'll live to bury you. Mr. Earp's patience isn't going to last much longer.
No, it isn't. Thanks, Doc. That was kind of close.
Let the Jordans thank me. Just for my own information, why didn't you go for your gun?
Well, he was an old man. A bunch of boys. Mr. Masterson, if I were you, I'd go in there and apologize to Billy Jordan.
Yes, sir.
Let me have your gun. Needs a nice, calm trigger finger. Al, go tell the mayor we'll all be living for a while.
Well, he cleaned up the country, the old Wild West country. He made law and order prevail. And none can deny it, the legend of Wyatt forever will live on the trail.
Oh, Wyatt Earp, brave, courageous, and bold. Long live his fame, and long live his glory, and long may his story be told.